huge news is Amber Heard is getting wrecked on her birthday by her former mainstream media pals, with them pointing out that it's the 8-year JD poop anniversary. Oh, and by the way, it's her 38th birthday as well. Multiple outlets have gone this way too. Big ones that defended her, including TMZ, the Daily Mail, and more. And it makes you wonder, is the check not in the mail? I mean, what's going on here? You and I, we're going to talk about it today. And this really is fun times. This is fun times indeed. All right, so hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently. Man, talk about having a crappy birthday. I mean, seriously. Media, they decide they're going to lean in. They're going to wreck Amber Heard by focusing on literal bombshells between the sheets. I mean, here's TMZ posting this on Twitter. Quote, Amber Heard celebrates 38th birthday on the 8-year poop anniversary with Johnny. And notice, this is getting traffic too. 112,800 views and counting. Now, this article doesn't disappoint either, because not only does it focus on the bombshell between the bed sheets, it focuses on alcohol as well, which is something she herself pointed out. I think this is hilarious too. You know, hey, I'm celebrating my birthday drinking. You celebrate going to the grocery store in jogging pants drinking. I mean, that's not a shock at all. But check this out here. So Amber Heard turned 38 this week, and to ring in the momentous occasion, she's knocking back champagne this 8 years after she allegedly crapped in JD's bed. I mean, right from go, they go ownership. And they continue this throughout this. The actress posted on Instagram Tuesday, a day after she hit the big 3-8 Monday, and it was a simple shot of her looking gorgeous and sipping on some bubbly. Her caption was telling as well, with AH simply writing, champagne kind of birthday. Now look what they add with this. It also looks like Amber is in some kind of wine cellar here, because she's surrounded by a ton of bottles on both sides, which is interesting considering her history with JD. So they're telling you right off the bat, notorious alcoholic. By the way, we're going to segment into other things that she did as well. Now from there, they decide they're going to drop the ultimate member berry. That sounds terrible, by the way, and thankfully they redact the photo. Gonna scroll past that. I don't need that bombshell stuck in my mind all day long. And they point out, fact is, it was 8 years ago to the day that her then husband, Johnny, got a call from his maid. By the way, a maid didn't call. It was the property manager. Maid called property manager after two maids found this. One was so horrified, she screamed out like someone was being attacked. Because, you know, when I'm going through Captain Jack Sparrow's bed sheets, I don't expect to find that type of buried treasure. But they informed Johnny that feces has been found in his bed at the downtown LA loft, which he ultimately decided had actually been left behind by Amber herself. Now, it goes on from there, too. It was a whole saga at the time. And of course it is. I mean, people, they laugh about it. They say, oh man, look at the meme. And Amber Heard, she introduced the hashtags herself. But really, this is talking about abuse and disrespect. Someone that is willing to go that far, yeah, there's no line for them at all. But it was a whole saga at the time. Johnny said he felt Amber had done this after she got mad at him for bailing on her birthday at the time, only to go to Coachella the next day and leave him with a quote-unquote surprise as payback. That was his point of view anyway. Yeah, a lot more happened, by the way. He said he had a business engagement. It went late. He arrived at her birthday party later than anticipated. She decided that she was going to do terrible things to him. She also threw his phone off a balcony, which had to be bought back from a homeless person with the strangest shopping list I've ever seen. And then the next day, you have all of this popping off. Amber, for her part, though, She denied she'd left the poo. Of course she did, in the bed, insisting it must have been their dog's, even though JD scoffed at that, saying it was far too big for such small pooches. And it's not just him scoffing at this idea. It's the maids that have been cleaning up this. They've been ranging. They've been there for years. So they would know if the dogs had this specific problem. And they said, no, it wasn't those dogs. It was a different type of breed. As silly as it sounds, they continue. This was all testified to in the court during their 2022 trial. By the way, we are in the middle of the 2-year anniversary of that trial, which kicked off in April. Isn't it crazy? This stuff is still going on, still making headlines. When Johnny sued Amber for defamation and mostly won, he went on the stand and gave his side of things, while Amber did the same. Indeed, was the subject of courtroom testimony. Then they got to take their shot too. They always got to take their Depp shot, which says a lot about how they think about Amber Heard, because they're willing to throw her under the bus this way and hard. A lot has happened since that trial. Little on since the alleged bed doo-doo incident. Amber has since moved to Europe and is living a relatively quiet life with her young daughter. Johnny, meanwhile, has been working on music and movies with middling success. They're so mad, so salty he can do that without them. Fact is, Johnny hasn't quite had the mainstream Hollywood comeback he was maybe hoping for, and Amber hasn't really done a whole lot in the aftermath of the trial. What has she done in the aftermath? Told us that she had a career, then put out a movie that had already been made, hasn't been invited back to anything. But the guy who denounces Hollywood, saying, I'll never come back, yeah, he wanted that. And then they end with this. 8 years later, they'll always have, instead of that, they say they'll always have scat. Now, TMZ isn't the only one dropping off those member berries. I gotta stop saying it that way. That sounds terrible. But you have the Daily Mail. They still have to deflect, but they decide that they're going to put out this. Quote, Amber Heard celebrates her 38th birthday with champagne, marking the 8-year anniversary of the alleged incident in which her ex-husband, JD, claimed that she left feces in his bed as a warped prank. He didn't say warped prank. He said that was her being mad, spiteful. She decided she would get even. That's what we call abuse, ladies and gentlemen. But this is being covered over and over again. And remember, this is happening on her birthday. She posts about her birthday and the media's like, hey, you remember the poopins, by the way? I mean, it's amazing to see. They've decided to go in and all out wreck her. And you have to wonder why. Why indeed. But anyway, let me know what you think about this. And as always, appreciate the heck out of you. You make this stuff work. Can't say that enough. Thank you. Want to help out the channel, by the way? Links are in the description. Check all of those out. Share this, like, sub, all of that. And thank you. Appreciate you. See ya.